and the Chiefs. The season abruptly ends like this, with them eliminated and with him injured, which means it lingers into next season and impacts that. I'm going to, right now, how do you just make sense of the fact that this Chiefs season went the way it did?
Yeah, right. Injury aside, the season, I think it's easy to say probably the biggest disappointment in terms of a team for the season.
No doubt.
In terms of here we are before Christmas, and they're not a playoff team. And, you know, you and I would talk about, well, they're going to get it figured out, right? When Rashee Rice gets back, they're going to get figured out. Like, that's what will happen. And it just never did, never clicked. And, look, I think it's hard to understand when you think about the head coach is great. He's proved that. The defense coordinator is great. He's proved that. The quarterback is great. He's proved that. But it is a team sport. There's other aspects to it. So struggled on the offensive line. Running back, you know, did not produce the way that they've had running backs produce in the past. You know, the receivers, especially when guys were out, weren't the same. The tight end position was not the same. So all of those things add up to, yeah, you have a disappointing season. And I think it puts them at a crossroads of, okay, well, what do we need to do to change that going forward?
That's the word you said upstairs. Like, I'm not sure if it's crossroads, and I'll say it. So this isn't you, this is me. It feels like it because with teams ascending with young quarterbacks, we'll get to their highlights, right? And with now Mahomes having an injury that clearly will linger into next season for at least some portion, perhaps a significant piece of time. I mean, it feels like not that they're going away, but that their place at lording over the division or conference, I should say, feels like it's done.
Well, there's so much uncertainty for him now. And I think when I say crossroads, I also think that how you approach this offseason, what you do is going to matter. I think you need to address running back. You need to address O-line. You probably are going to end up, you know, maybe treating tight end and receiver differently than you have in the past.
Yeah.
And on top of it, you don't know. Is he available week 1? Is he available week 4? Is he available week 10? We're sitting here now, like in mid-December, and it just happened. He may not have surgery for another month, like that often happens after ACL injuries. So with that being the case, you don't want him to come back in the middle of the season next year and have a 2-6 team and try to pull you out of a hole. Like, you need to get somebody at quarterback that can have you in the hunt when he does return.
And there's all these odd parallels to Brady and when the injury happened, and there's some similarities about how many Super Bowls were won, this and that and the other thing. But here's a big difference. Brady got injured week one, which allows all of next year to be his return. And so I think that's the thing, is the gray area in this fog of when next year you're even talking about has to impact how you go about attacking next season. You'll at least have clarity by the time the offseason arrives for that.
But what you won't know is, like the guys have messed up the ACL return. You know, like Adrian Peterson ruined it for everyone else because he came back so quickly and was fine. That's not typically how it goes, so you're not going to know.
Chargers, you guys won, and that totally gets obliterated by this storyline. We have the rest of this season and at least some portion of the playoffs, it would appear, to talk about you. All credit to them. I think Chargers fans would understand as well as anybody why Mahomes is this lead. Unfortunately, this was not the only significant knee injury on this day. As we pivot to the Denver-Green Bay game. Broncos with a chance to clinch a playoff spot. They, of course, have been rolling, haven't lost since early in the season. Things are chippy pregame, and you get that, right? It's a bit of a measuring stick game for Denver. You're not playing the Raiders. You're not playing the Commanders. You're playing a division leader. It's a 7-6 game. What a catch, and what a falls harmlessly to the turf. Sean Payton called his team a Super Bowl team a couple of weeks ago. He knows they're surging now in the playoffs.
You know, goal one is try to go win your division. Goal 2 is try to get the best seed, and then goal 3 is, you know, try to win a world championship. And so we still haven't really accomplished 1, 2, or 3. So remember, 1 is win the division. So we're still going.
We're talking to Damian Woody the other night about this Denver team. And you and I have done this a lot throughout the season, right? Coming back and winning games. And I asked Damian, is beating a team like Green Bay important as you're trending towards being a playoff team? Because you're not beating the Raiders. You're not beating Washington. You're beating a team that's in your weight class. And he said he thought so. What does Denver show you in winning this game this way against Green Bay?
Yeah, I think that Sean Payton talks about them like they're a young team, and he wants them to learn things. And I think there have been games throughout the season that they've treated to be a bigger deal than just a regular season game. So, look, I think their defense is outstanding, and they played like it today. I think they do a really good job of running the football. And then Bo Nix is, to me, still an interesting player in that.
How so?
He makes some remarkable plays. There are times where you definitely think that there are coaches in the press box that are holding their breath, like okay, good, yeah, like it worked out in our favor. Like that's how he plays. And look, they're explosive on offense, and a lot of times because of that. And so, like today's a good example of he did not, turn the football over. Didn't mean it wasn't in harm's way at times, but he made a lot of plays against a really good defense to win a game that makes them feel pretty good about where they sit.
And that's a stunning statistic. I mean, it's 11 comeback wins this season. I mean, again, people talk about you wouldn't want to make a habit of it. Well, they are. And, Kansas City lived in that space last year, and they made it all the way to the Super Bowl. Denver did make the playoffs last year. Went on the road against Buffalo, took the lead in that game, right? So, I mean, it's just a young team that's ascending, and they are in the mix. They will be a playoff team. Green Bay figures to be as well, but as you can imagine, after seeing the dreaded non-contact that, quote, doesn't look good, Rashawn Gary and the Packers emotional.
Hurt to see. We'll be missed on his defense. Y'all all know his impact. But that's give us, more guys up front, more opportunities when they come to, rush cause havoc. But, with his absence, we got to step up front.
That's remarkable context there. Incredibly emotional to see their guy go down. They went all in.
Yep.
They made a sizable investment because of what Parsons represents. He's a game changer and a game wrecker. In his absence, what did the Packers do?
Yeah, I mean, he said it. Basically, the rest of the front is going to have to step up. And so, look, teams deal with injuries, and sometimes they deal with injuries to star players. And that's what needs to happen. And so Jeff Hafley, their defensive coordinator, whose name has already been in the mix to get, some of these head coaching openings that are out there, he's going to have to be more creative. He is that San Francisco coaching tree, on the defensive side of the ball that, has a good track record in the NFL. So he's going to have to be creative defensively to get things going. That's what will happen. They have been a defensive-led team, and Parsons has been the most disruptive player on that defense.
They have a good defense without him, but they're not obviously the same team without him. Next man up is not the next man's not Micah Parsons. That's all.
Right.
So it changes the
And
context.
so and the message is always this: like, okay, hey, well, everybody else needs to be a little bit better, and sometimes they do. Like listen, Kurt Warner took over for Trent Green because Dick Vermeil said we'll play good football. Like that's what happens.
But I think hearing from Rashawn Gary, you understand that is a fragile state of mind, and you understand why. Injuries are part of the game, significant impact there. All right, we continue on. I keep saying it's a seismic day in terms of injury and in terms of teams that continue to play at a